Amazing yet annoying. Yeah. Victoria, over to you.
So guys, backstory. Yinka here just recently became a dog pup and has adopted a dog mom in the likes of Uma.
Yeah.
So now they're dog parents to the same child.
Who dog what? So hey, back
Hazel,
up.
Hazel April Carmichael is her name.
Buttercup.
That's her nickname for HAC.
Yeah.
Let's scratch out the buttercup because that just signifies what she's wearing. You know, the fashion inspiration has nothing to do with Hazel.
Cut. Continue.
I'd like to start by saying some people don't know what they have to do with it.
I won't lose
We're here for one episode and one episode only. So after this episode, she'll realize that she's lost. With that being said, I'm Alabi Oluyinka.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of
My Friend and I.
This is our third episode.
Yes,
In our last episode, we talked about relationships with the opposite sex, and today we have someone here, a guy actually. I'm going to leave Victoria to introduce him because if I introduce him, guys, we'll not leave this stage.
My name is QV and this is the delectable Ma. And we have the dapper king himself. Y to the I, N to the K, A. Yinka Alabi.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah.
Or thank you, Victoria, for having me. The other party on board. Well, I don't know how you people do it, but I decided to, grace her stage with my presence. And she's welcome. Yeah. But it's a pleasure, being here with you, Victoria, as always.
You're welcome.
You can tell that the episode is about to get steamy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll leave you guys to the comments to think about what is going on between these two. But before we go on, we'd just like to introduce Yinka in his proper, estimable, distinguished person of his. I'll let him do the talking. I would have done it, but full scarf ship no go reach. Full scarf sheet and no go reach. Exactly. Excuse my French. Full scarf. I think it's on. It's not a tongue twister. Full scarf. Full scarf sheet no go reach.
Your secondary school did a good job with you. It's obvious. Some other. Well, yes. Let's get on with it.
Guys, this is what I'm going to since today.
Sorry, you said?
Go on.
Okay, guys. Before we get into the deep, tensioned, body, hot gist of today, you can please introduce yourself.
Hi guys, I'm Oluyinka Alabi, product designer amongst other things. I've been privileged to be on this podcast by our gracious hosts, both QV and Omar. And so that I say thank you.
He's just being very, very humble right now, very modest. He's just being very modest right now. He's a lot more than that. He's a business owner, businesses. CEO to a lot of businesses, but he just wants to keep that on the down low, so we'll just respect it. I'm very sure with time you will get to know him because we have brought him out of his hidden, what's it called now, cocoon. So yeah, we're just going to get along with the questions and please share your thoughts also.
So we're going to be asking Yinka questions about male relationship because he's a guy and he's in a better position to tell us what male relationship is about.
Yeah.
So guys, if you have your questions, let us know what we would like to ask him and we'll get in it. So Vicky.
Yeah. So Yinka, what does a strong male friendship mean to you?
Can I first start by defining what that would look like in the first
Yes,
place?
please.
So a stronger relationship or friendship, doesn't necessarily look any different from a normal relationship. I think it's always based on honesty and truth. There are values, whether said or unsaid, that make up such friendships, and that's what makes it strong. Because you believe in the same things, and then you have the same ideologies for the most part. It doesn't mean you have to agree on everything. But at the core of it or at the base of it, there are certain fundamentals that both or all parties involved in that friendship, agree on and or they believe in as a group. And I'm stating this, it could be two or it could be more, right? I've been blessed to have very strong male friendships. And yeah,
Yeah.
super proud of my boys still. They're doing their thing in their respective fields. So
I
yeah.
like that. I like that. So there are some questions that were asked and
Okay.
sent to you that you're looking
Yeah.
at. So you can just pick one out of
So what does a strong male friendship look like to me? Um for me personally, right? I think it looks like a group of guys who are dedicated to doing their thing and doing it while having fun, right? I think it looks more like people who are honest with themselves, who are, regardless of the situation, ready to tell themselves the truth. They're ready to call themselves out. It might not be in public, but they are ready to call themselves out. And when a party errs, and they are ready to sit down and listen when you have a problem that needs sharing or solving. They definitely will come through for you if, I mean, they carry you with the same weight you carry them, basically. And I've been opportune to be, again, like I said earlier, part of friendships like that. And I still have a number of friends like that, that no matter the scenario, if I call on, say, Paul, Quadri, Bola, even though he's in the US, they would pick up in the middle of war to literally, figure out if I'm fine and I'm okay. And I think that's what basically that looks like at the base of it. It gets deeper, definitely, but yeah, I think
So
at the
I have a
base,
question for you.
for sure.
So following your journey on your friendships with other males,
Yeah.
right, I've seen that there's a common factor
Okay.
in your own journey that
Okay.
has developed into something beautiful, because all of you at this age are well settled. You haven't gotten to your peak yet, but at this age you have gone pretty far. So what can you say is the most common thing or most common investment you guys have put in yourself that has made you to who you are now? Because you all are doing extremely
I would say personally, we are very serious minded people.
serious-minded in one sense.
So in when I mean serious minded, we joke like normal guys do, we have fun with it, but at the core of it, I don't think I would sit down with a Paul or Quadri or Bolan a full 2 hours without, hey, how far, what's going on with you work wise, or holding ourselves accountable to certain goals we've either joked about or we've set for ourselves, basically. And this doesn't always have to do with work. It has to do with even relationships. It has to do with like aspects of our lives that we know we hold very importantly, right? So if, for example, you've told me, hey, I've been trying to, I've been thinking about doing maybe a YouTube channel, for example, which someone like Paul has and everything. You say, hey, how far? How many subscribers are you at? What are you doing to actively, grow that channel and everything? If I see, and it doesn't have to always be a physical thing. If I saw a video that I know would help Paul grow, I'm definitely sending it to him. It's not just sending reels every day that are funny, but like things that help our personal development. I know so many times since 200 level, Paul will see a video on design and he will just randomly send it to me, right? Or a video on personal growth that he found useful and he'll send it to me and Quadri, basically. Or things that are pertaining that doesn't really have anything to do with him, but maybe based off of a conversation or a problem I've shared with him and he feels would help, basically. He would share and he will check in maybe at 2 3 a.m. because he knows that that's when I'll be done with work and go, how far have you seen the video? I mean, just even watch a snippet or whatever of it. I think it might help with X or it will help with Y. I think they are always very conscious about your growth as a person, and whether it doesn't always have to be like an intervention type situation, but they are very particular about your growth. How far you've been talking, you want to do X, how far have you done it? Like, and I think that's the beauty of most of those friendships for me, like they hold you accountable to things. And I'm not saying, oh, we sit down at the beginning of the year and say, hey, we are doing this XYZ. But while we are joking, we always circle back to things that are important to us, right? Of course, we are guys who make jokes of certain things, but if I said something that they find very important, somebody will take it amongst themselves in the circle to check in. Hey, are you good? Are you okay? Just a few weeks back, I Paul, who is one of my close friends, he just had me on the phone. He called me to make jokes and everything. And no, he's not. Paul literally on the phone with his babe. She just kept on going because we make jokes with each other. And it's like, Alpha, what's up with you? Your voice just seems really low and everything. And this was around 11 p.m. and everything. And then they offered that we should go cut our hair, which normally, like, I was just like, I don't want to disturb you guys or ruin a parade. I mean, it's 11 p.m., but because we work late mostly and we share the same barber that works 24 hours, we drove down there. And in that, they got me talking, they got me out of the funk I was. And he won't even know that, but like, he got my creative juices going because I work best at night. And I was just stuck in my head of personal issues that were, causing the creative block. And I'm grateful for friendships like that because they help. Like, you don't even know the littlest things that they can figure out without you even speaking. Because again, another thing you would find out is when you find people of like minds that you genuinely care for, and that matures over a couple years. What happens is, even when you don't even know you're about to enter a problem or you are going through a problem, they can see it and it can help you solve that. So yeah, I think that's maybe yeah.
Accountability and honesty in a relationship can actually help.
Yeah.
Not only making jokes, not only making fun.
It doesn't even have to be a serious thing. It will tell across board from the jokes. Even the jokes are usually very honest. Like, yes, they could take the biggest jab at you eventually for it, but they will always circle back to and give you a nugget like, fam, what you did there doesn't track. It's not like us. You need to fall back in line. And then it's fun. You don't even see it as jabs in the end. Like, I mean, it's just always fun as far as I'm concerned. But yeah.
So thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
So I have a question.
Okay.
Have there been in any case where in you and your friends' growth, one of you or even you yourself felt like as if you haven't achieved as much as they have?
Yes. That is a very funny question you asked. I think that's another thing. We all feel that way. So again, we don't measure ourselves. There is no competition as such. I think growth has already taught us that it's not competing eventually. It is you doing enough so that when your brother is in need, you could lend a helping hand, right? And at some point, I don't think, for me personally, I've never had to compare myself to anyone, thankfully, to the kind of home I came out from. And I don't think Paul is quite competitive. Quadri very competitive. Again, when I mean competitive, I mean they want to be at the top of their game at everything they're doing, right? They are very goal oriented in what they are doing, and they're not mediocre. They don't want average. They want the best for themselves. So competitive in that sense. But as at, Yinka has something and Quadri doesn't have. Nah, it's always, if Yinka has it, everybody does. If Paul does, we all do. And I could call Paul today and go, hey, how far? I need to get something. I did that earlier in the day when I needed to get his car, and just like, if he wasn't overheating, Paul would drive down to come pick all of us and we'll keep moving. And it's that way with the friend group, basically. If anyone needs anything, they know without a second thought that if they ask, they will get the help they need. And so that already builds more a community as opposed to competition, right? It is realizing like, if we stay through to what we are trying to do, everybody will, as opposed to if I win, then I'm on top in that circle, or somebody. We don't. I don't think we have that mentality of somebody trying to be the face or be the top guy there. We want everyone winning, and that has helped us grow to where we are at personally, because everybody has downtimes, right? Everybody won't always be on top. And the good part about it is when somebody is down in such a group, technically you can't be down because you have your brothers to always help lift you up and make up for those shortcomings and make up for life when it starts to life, if that makes sense. But yeah.
I want to ask because I would like to imagine that you guys didn't get here with just understanding yourself.
Mhm.
There had to be some sort of development that had happened.
Yeah.
Whether it's you guys talking to yourself, oh, I think we should do this, I think we should do that.
Mhm.
But there had to be some level of teaching. You had to have gotten something from somewhere. So what would you suggest to people trying to grow their circle to be richer
Mhm.
and to also personally grow?
Life is the ultimate teacher. That's the honest truth, right? I think I get your question, but let me jump and say life is the ultimate teacher. We are human beings at the end of it. I'm not going to sit here and sound like we are some perfect guys. Sitting, we've all come in with, and well, men come with their egos personally sometimes to certain things. We are all bullish in our approach to work type of thing. I'm very aggressive when it comes to my work. I'm about it. In fact, it's number one priority for me. Same with Paul, same with Quadri. These are guys that are again top of their fields, basically. And with that comes a level of I have attained certain things or I've been trying to attain certain things. And I don't even think they see themselves as we are the top yet of anything. They just have that mentality of I won't be second in what I'm doing type of thing. And so with that, when even relating, I'm talking about now 6, 8 years ago, because we're not here. Everybody was still clamoring to, climb that ladder to, get to a point where you can quote unquote be financially stable. You have those things you've been envisioning and dreaming about. And so sometimes it leads to selfishness where I want more time for myself to do certain things. I can't give time to help you with your own thing and everything. But again, like I said, life is the ultimate teacher with things like that, because then you get into situations where now you need the help of your people, right? And then in those moments, it's a teachable one because now the same person that maybe shut you down when you needed XYZ now needs your help with that. In such a moment, for me personally, if you help, and I personally, I think my approach to things has always been different. I don't hold things, and that's another thing I think is now eating in the circle. Nobody holds anything to heart. We are humans. We'll err at some point, right? Nobody holds it so deeply that now you've done this to me, I'm going to do that for you. Like once we realize it's not coming from a personal place, it's just because of that our competitive nature in our respective fields.
Excuses, because I'm asking myself,
Mhm.
you annoy me, and the reason why it hurts me is because you are close to me, you should know better. So how do you
So that's where it differs between male and female relationships, right? So with female relationships,
You're about to throw shade at us.
and I'm not throwing shades. I grew up around women for the most part of my life. So I know for a fact that if I offend, say, my sister, right, she might let it go on the surface. But you see, the day I will need her help, it will be brought up, when it was your turn, type of thing, right? We guys, we clear it up like that, basically. If something doesn't sit right with me, I can call Koja, hey, how far the way you did that does not gel well, yeah, it's not going to fly if that comes up again, type of thing. I don't even think it ever gets said that, hey, if it happens next time, because if there's something I know for a fact within my guys, the moment they realize you've pointed it out, it definitely hurts enough already for you to say it. I don't know about so many other female friendships, but if I call for, hey, how far the way you said what you said wasn't, didn't sit right. He's, regardless of how he feels, whether he's right or wrong, he will try and explain why he did what he did. Right. The moment there is a conversation had and there is okay, cool, no, I understand. I promise you it's gone. It's like that's where it's done, basically. So we were like our own powerhouses in our own facets, type of thing. So when we cover our seat, you could see the ego in between, like, so. And Paul is very bullish with his own nature. He isn't proud. He's just about, if he's not making money, what are you actually telling me? Like, Alpha, what's this conversation about? If he's not productive, production in our circle is money. If it's not making money, like what are we what about type of thing. But from that, realizing, oh, we all make money in our own little way, how then do we now start combining skill sets and doing this? I've always been for the, oh, we should do something together, we should do something together type of thing. At the beginning, I know Paul will be like, this guy, let me just do my thing and go. I mean, the friendship is cool, but when it comes to the business part, he's, because of how driven he is, he would feel like, you guys don't have like my drive type of thing.
Yeah.
And that's why I always come back to life is a leveler, because there are points where we, as a friend, a party could literally have that head start and they're ahead of the pack by a mile type of thing. Then life happens. And because your friend is succeeding doesn't mean you won't succeed at some point. But if you're patient enough and you realize what growth looks like, you'd realize that it differs for people, but if you stay with the same principles, you would eventually be level, because life again is a leveler, right? And by leveling, it might not mean that, oh, you have 10,000 in your account, I'll have 10,000 in my account, but it would look that way when, oh, okay, cool. You have 10,000 naira, but you don't have access to do what your 10,000, can do for you.
So I think I have a question. Maybe I'll ask one. Vicky will ask one.
Okay.
So I think I have a question. So one time we're with this guy, like when we're doing Bible study, and then he said that he has this really close friend of his, a guy that normally shuts out. I mean, it worried him that this guy, like he just
Shuts out.
yeah, like he stops talking to everybody.
Okay.
And then to him especially, like he can talk to every other person, but to him especially, he's wondering, oh, what's happening? Like, why are you not speaking to me? And all of it. So has there been cases where in your own male friendship where someone shut out and you guys are trying to reach back to the person and the person is not opening up as much?
Yeah, for sure. Even recently. Well, I think again, like I said, growth is very important, and as long as you all embrace that, you would eventually like start to lose that individualism in your friendships and embrace like the brotherhood of sorts. Like I think that's been the change I've seen the most in my own friend groups, right? Everybody has different character traits. Everybody has different trauma responses to things. Everybody has faced different personal, troubles in such a way that life has sort of taught them how to respond to that. But if there's anything I try to champion in any circle is positivity on how to, you know, foster good relationships with people, male or female, right? And it's very important to me because we live in a world where everybody's focused on me, me, myself, and I type of thing. What works best for me, and that. It's just never been the most appealing thing to me personally. I've always, not because I can't be a lone runner, and I do that when I need to, but you go further, right? Even your Bible says one will kill 1,000 and two 10,000, right? So there are rules that apply to those things because no man is an island. We are not designed as beings to operate individually. At least not for the long run, right? You would eventually answer your father's name, but if you look at examples in your Bible where they were trying to go to heaven, what happened? God had to diversify the tongues amongst them. Because once there is understanding between people already, there's way more growth.
Like he's just doing instead.
Yes, you're
by shutting himself out.
Exactly. So again, we would learn that as friends. Speaking about my own friend groups, because I think in the past few years we had individually like gone through things that everybody had to rally up for the next person type of thing. Had an incident where I was run and lost literally everything. it forced most of my guys to shop for me and shop silently for me. And each of them have had their own experiences where we've all had to cover up for our friend and make sure. And then to a lot of people outside, it's more like, they're auto flyers, da da da, and all of that. We make sure that we don't let the world see our pain and see that, and we take on each other's pain that way now. And again, they might not articulate it. All of them might not see that and articulate it the way I am articulating it, but their actions speak for those things. Basically, if one person realizes, say for example, Yinka is shutting out, is not in the best frame of mind, and he tries and he realizes he's not being able to get through to me, he'll reach out to the next guy and go, hey, how far? Try to talk to Yinka earlier. He just sounded off and he's not budging. So you see the other person will try and reach out. Or instead of calling, he would show up to the house. Type of, oh, Alpha, Yinka, I brought plantain for you. Because, oh, Yinka likes plantain type of thing. Use that to get in and figure out what's going on. Check, right? And if especially the period when I was really low, I just realized they had started a thing where they just be sort of taking shifts, whether unconsciously or consciously, because I didn't know I just realized it became a pattern where, oh, Quadri is in the house today, and then Paul will come and check in the morning, Quadri is there to check in the evening, type of thing. And till I got out of that funk and I was able to get back on my 2 feet, they consciously still stayed around me and everything. And well, it made it very interesting. I'm a very introspective person. It made it very interesting on, like, I think as much as what I was going through was really serious, it made me realize, like, being the one who always channels this, I will be there for you regardless of whatever it is you're saying or you're doing. You might tell me leave you alone, but I will figure out a way to still shop for you, type of thing. Even though they are all hard guys in their own right, they sort of, that already came into their subconscious to the point where when I was low, they all showed up for me. Like, there was no slacking, there was no person I would say just left me, or even though they will all do like if you enter a wahala na you did your type of thing, they would say that jokingly, but when it comes down to it, they all show up and they don't slack on that. And so again, life will teach you a lot, but again, I can speak to the integrity of them as men. Basically, they are good people at the depth of that, and obviously they've started picking up on those things till the point we don't go. I don't think we go a full week without talking at this point, just to make sure everyone is good.
Thank you.
Thank you. So there's one more question, and I think it's going to be an introduction to the next segment, right? I wish we had more time so that we can really, because these questions are interesting. What I'm saying,
maybe we'll do a part 2 at some point. But
it'll be a part 2. I really think so. So this is what I say that, the only episode, nothing like that. I really think
only
that
episode, any other thing you book up with my assistant, like 3 for 10.
Oh my goodness. So there's one question. In fact, there's so many, to be honest, but I'm going to pick one. What are the benefits and challenges of having a close friend of the opposite sex, or there's a backup question that says, how do you navigate the boundaries in opposite? How do you navigate boundaries in opposite sex friendships?
People have this, thing where you have a male, but there is possibility that you both will fall in love. But that's not even that in my own case, because I mean, we're not in love, but we just appreciate what we share. Like, we're both very vulnerable with each other, right? We don't even talk every day, but every time we speak, it's like as if we're pouring out everything.
The most practical way to put it to you is, do you have a sister?
Yeah.
Do you have a mother?
Yes, I do.
Do you sit down fantasizing about anything
No,
with
I
them?
do.
If they called you in the point of help, would you, be thinking of taking advantage of them?
No.
Okay, so except you're lured or you have some issues mentally, right?
I really think you
And
just
so
answered the
on
question.
that days, I hope I'll be able to
Like
convince
there's a
and not
picture.
confuse you.
So we've gotten to the end of this episode.
Yeah.
It was very interesting, a lot to learn
I
from
thought
your
so.
relationship. And Yinka, I want to say very big thank you for coming to our podcast.
Thank you
We
for
really
having
do
me.
appreciate your presence and we hope
Appreciate
to
it.
have you more.
Hopefully.
Yes.
In the next.
Make it happen.
All right. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much. Queen B here. Ma here.
Signing out.
Bye.
Hi Hazel.
And the camera woman to
The real MVP.